invited you to join me. Jiminy.
You want to have an invite to my Gmail? That might be smoother.
Okay, let's try that.
E-L, my first name E-L-I-S-E, dot, my last name O-G-D-E-N, at gmail.com.
Dot O-G-D-E-N at gmail.com. Okay, did you get it?
Yeah. Hi.
Oh, yay. Oh, finally.
Hang up the phone.
Okay, can you hear me? Uh-oh, I can't hear you. Still can't hear you. Turn my volume all the way up. At the top, like maybe the top, like where at the top of your head, do you see the little bar with the little things on it? Can you hear me though? You can? Okay. Hmm. It's weird. You can hear me, but you can't be heard. What about on your laptop? Is your volume all the way up? Yeah? Did it by chance ask you to access your microphone? Okay, so one person can hear and see me. Oh no. Uh-oh. Okay, so maybe she's going to try to come back in. Hey, Janice. Hello, I see you. Present to everyone. All right. Hopefully that worked. Janice, can you still hear? get started in a minute or two. I've got 2 viewers. Janice, I know you're one. Anybody else on from BWISE? No, I can't see you, Janice. I heard something go. I don't know what that was. Okay, so I see group chat. So I activated the group chat so you all can chat, just like our Blabs, a little different format, trying to get something that works consistently. I'm not sure what happened to Elise. I see her picture. Let's see. Present her to everyone. Maybe that'll work. Oh, I see her. Still can't hear. Oh no. Oh no. Well, we'll just have to do it the old-fashioned way. So we'll take questions about mentoring, and then I'll have, Elise, if you can see the group chat on the side, then I will just read what you say and communicate any questions that you have from the group. Can you see it on the side where it says group chat on your right-hand side? You got it? Okay. All right. So we'll make the best of it. That's the beauty of modern technology. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So, okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining. I know we've got a couple BWISE members. Hopefully they'll be joining in a minute. And as you all know, this is our weekly career chat where we focus on, things that are affecting or could possibly impact our careers, and making sure you all have the information that you need in order to, achieve your goals in your career, whether that's in academia or in business. So I'm Erica Jefferson, founder of BWISE, Black Women in Science and Engineering. So I just wanted to welcome everyone. This is our first chat on Google Hangout on air. For you all who've joined us before know we've been doing Blab for the last 6 months or so, and it's a wonderful platform, but not without its problems as well. So thank you for all of you who are joining. And what we'll do in light of our problems, unless something magical happens and Elise can be heard, we'll just do it again, Elise. Don't worry about it. So any questions that you all have, I'll communicate them to Elise, and Elise is going to kind of relay via the chat about the Junior Academy. Elise, if you want to type up something, I'll read it out when we get to that portion. So for now, we'll kick it off with kind of a recap of the United State of Women. I did post something on LinkedIn, kind of an overview with links and videos about the event, and I'm sure Elise can attest to it being an awesome event. I think over 5,000 people, men included in that number, from all over the country who were focused on improving the lives of girls and women were there. It's incredible experience. I certainly hope they do it again. And that's where I got a chance to meet Elise. So Elise is with the New York Academy of Science. And when I met her, she was saying, I'm always looking for mentors. And I thought, I have more mentors than you probably would ever want. We have a lot of ladies in BWISE who both are looking for mentors and would like to be mentors for girls as well. So I think the benefit of that event is connecting people who, maybe not ever have a chance to connect. So, being in Houston, wasn't likely that I'll run into Elise all the way up in New York to even find out about her wonderful organization, the Global STEM Alliance. So that was great. And I think besides the ability to network and meet with other people, you got exposure to some of the organizations that are doing wonderful things in STEM across the country, one of them being Elise's organization. So, basically, I'll say about the event overall, it was a wonderful opportunity for those who were working in the 6 tenets, one of which being education, to learn more, find out what people are doing to really make a significant impact, and then connect with other people like Elise and her organization. So if you guys are on, have any specific questions, about the event, it was long, and I will say that. I think it was a 12-hour event from 7 a.m. till, I know I left at 7:30 to go to a networking event afterwards, and I think they were still talking when I went. So it was incredible but long. And I think those people who participated probably came in and out of the plenary, which lasted all day. And then there were solution seminars, I guess is what they called them, during the first day. The second day is when, actually the groups split out into the different focus areas. And the group that I was a part of was focused on making an impact in STEM fields, and that was hosted by the Department of Energy and also the EPA. And there were a variety of folks there, both from academia and also from business, who were looking for novel ways to, really make an impact in increasing diversity, both for people of color and also for women. So really good opportunity to meet some really interesting people. I was able to meet Dr. Carl Reed, who is the executive director for NSBE. There were some people from the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratories there as well. The featured speaker was, I think, Congresswoman Edie Bernice Johnson from Dallas, Texas, who spoke about I guess the coming demand for STEM workers and how important that was. So it was good to see that, the government officials are aware of what's going on regarding the shortage of STEM workers and the need for diversity and getting their buy-in. So that was great. Elise, which session did you go to a second day? She's typing. Oh, her phone. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Can you hear me? Okay, I'm probably getting some feedback.
I'm wondering if I can talk into the phone. Hey, and people can hear me that way.
Yeah, maybe that works. Okay, we'll try that. Okay, so hopefully.
Sorry, I don't know why it's not working over here.
That's okay. That's okay. We'll make it work. That sounds good. I can hear you. Hopefully you guys can hear her as well. So, Elise, what was your take on the summit?
Yeah, I was amazingly inspired to be in a room, very large room with so many women from all over the country and the world with similar passions for increasing, the rights of women in a lot of different ways. I mean, the speakers were phenomenal. I was shocked by Joe Biden. I hadn't heard him speak live before, and his speech on violence against women was, I thought, very heartfelt.
Absolutely.
Even though it was one of the reasons why the whole session ran long.
It was.
And I didn't get to go any sessions the second day, but the first day I snuck out of the exhibit hall and was able to listen to a talk on equal pay and some work that they're doing in Boston. I think it's called the Boston Cooperative or Collaborative. There's it's Compact. It's the Boston Compact. They're doing a lot of great work there, getting large corporations on board with agreeing to increase transparency in their workplaces and reporting on a lot of different metrics to try and help decrease the gap in pay between men and women, and all sorts of men and white men and everybody else.
Right, right. That's important. That's great. That sounds like a great one. I was saying that certainly it's a wonderful start, but they could have had summits for each of those 6 areas. I know STEM could have had a summit all by itself, and the need for obviously talented workers and mentors for the coming generation. So those of you who know me well know that I'm very passionate about improving the lot of women and girls, but particular women, because I figure it's kind of a twofer. So if women advance and are successful, not only does that obviously keep the pipeline full, but those women would be the best mentors, of course, for the coming generation. So I see a lot of work being done by teachers and government officials, but nothing is going to beat a scientist or a biologist or a mathematician impacting the life of these girls. It's wonderful to have NASA come out and show astronauts, but honestly, NASA only takes 1% of the people who apply. So, most of the opportunities are going to be in the traditional fields such as manufacturing and design, civil engineering, structural engineering. And so, we really need the ladies to step up and get involved in the lives of these girls around the world, I guess. I'm focused primarily on the United States, but I know there's a need worldwide. So, yeah, I think it's a wonderful start. I hope next year is the 2nd year of the United States of Women, and I get to go back, and Elise and I can partner. Maybe we'll have an event next year. If we get to go back, let's partner and have an event. Maybe we can bring some of the girls that are mentored, and they get a chance to meet their mentors in person. So with that, I guess we can talk about, unless anybody has any questions, talk about what your programs are, both the Junior Academy and also the 1,000 Girls, 1,000 Futures.
Yeah, I'll just do a quick overview and just let me know if there's any questions. So the Junior Academy and 1,000 Girls, 1,000 Futures are both part of an initiative by the New York Academy of Sciences. The New York Academy of Sciences is a membership-based organization that's been around for like 200 years. They've had 27 Nobel laureates on the board. It's a very established organization, but they recognize that there's a lack of diversity in a lot of STEM fields. So this initiative, the Global STEM Alliance, has started to really focus on increasing that diversity and access within the STEM pipeline. Like you said, I mean, it's a pipeline issue, and getting more folks, starting specifically with younger students, giving them the support they need early on, the encouragement, mentors, to kind of propel them through that pipeline. So I work specifically on the Junior Academy, which is, both of these programs are virtual and global. A big draw of the program is connecting with other students and mentors from around the world. And with the Junior Academy, students actually work on teams, international virtual teams, and with the support of a mentor, they work to solve global problems. So this last year we had 2 challenges sponsored by PepsiCo and ARM. The PepsiCo one focused on food loss and waste, and the ARM one focused on wearables for good. So students, teams, mentors got to work together to kind of figure out the angle they wanted to take in solving some of these issues. Erica, I don't remember if you got to meet one of our students who came with us. I don't know if she was at our booth when you stopped by, but one of our students, Smitty, who's from Long Island, came to the United States of Women event, and oh my God, she was like starstruck. She had such a great time. She's 15,
Okay.
and one of the smartest people I have ever met.
Wow.
And she is a finalist. Her team made it to the finals. They're going to present next month. And she brought a water filter that they designed using nanoparticles. Like a sun power packed, and they have like a tracking sites. You can like track where certain waters or have certain levels of drinkability. My background's not in science, so everything that comes out of her mouth, I'm just like blows my mind. And you know, so she was able to talk about her project with a lot of people who stopped by her booth, and I swear, I mean, there's so many women there who are so dedicated to you know, supporting girls in STEM and getting to see these wonderful adult STEM professionals talking with Smitty. It was just like magic happening, these like sparks flying. I mean, they were just unified in this passion for these fields and for knowledge and career. You know, Smitty just like wants to do this for the rest of her life, and getting to see her connect with some of these really awesome, powerful STEM women was really inspiring. But I'm getting off topic.
No, that's
the
good.
Junior Academy, there's different challenges every 3 months roughly, and so teams can work together for the 70-day period to develop these solutions, and there's competitions with summits and prizes at the end. And then the other program, and that's for boys and girls, but we're really looking to have a lot of female mentors lead teams, because we think it's really important not only for girls to see women in STEM, but for boys to see women leading STEM projects as well.
Absolutely.
And then the other program is 1,000 Girls, 1,000 Futures, which is specifically for girls in STEM, and they're matched one-on-one with adult female STEM professionals. And that program focuses more on college and career readiness and that one-on-one relationship, which is also virtual. So they're kind of different. Each program has a really great different focus. You know, one's year-long, and once students graduate from the program, they've graduated. The Junior Academy is more of like a ongoing platform, living, breathing. Once students are in it, they can be in it forever and keep taking challenges, and same with mentors. And so that's a shorter, more intense time commitment, but mentors in that program can do like a challenge now for 70 days and take a semester off and come back. But I'll pause there and see if there's any questions.
So do you all have any questions? Hopefully you can hear Elise. That was a brilliant idea to call in, Elise. So hopefully everybody can hear you. I know at least 2 of the members can hear. So does you guys, it works very similar to the way the Blab did, and on the right side of the screen you'll have an area to chat. So does anybody have any questions? If not, I'll ask a few. Okay, while they're thinking of their questions, Elise, I'll come up with some. So is there any contact at all, I guess if someone is in the New York area, is there any preference for, I know it's all virtual, but is there any preference by location? So do you try to match up people in the same time zone, or do you try to match them up maybe by area of interest? So if you've got students who are in biology or interested in biology, are you looking for people who are working in biology, or how does the matchup work?
Yeah, that's a great question. So geography is not taken into consideration with matching for either of the programs, or it wasn't last year. For the Junior Academy this year, we are recommending that teams state their preferred working times before joining teams, because some of the teams had, 4 team members and a mentor, and literally every single person was in a different time zone.
Okay.
Which, as you can imagine, when you're collaborating on a project and you only have 60, 70 days to do it, it gets a little tough.
Right.
To find enough time to really meet and get together. So we're leaving it up to the teams, because everyone has different, whether they live in Singapore or the United States, who knows, maybe that's like the perfect time, like
right.
their night and our morning that works for them. So we're leaving it to our mentors and students to decide what works best with their schedule. And like Smitty's team, for example, she worked on a team with her mentor was from India, and she had another teammate from Scotland, another one from Malaysia, and one from, I think, Azerbaijan.
Okay, wow.
It was a very, very global team. But we do consider, so for the 1,000 Girls, 1,000 Futures, they definitely consider what are the students' interests and the area of expertise of the mentor. They also, I think, consider like personality-wise, just like, what are they each looking for. I've worked at another nonprofit before this that did mentor matching, so I have a lot of experience in this area. You can get really, like, finding the right personality is a very key part when it comes down to a one-on-one relationship.
Right.
But for the teams in the junior academy, we look for what is the approach that the team is taking, and does the mentor complement that? And this year, we're actually giving a lot more power to the mentors and the students to find each other, essentially. So mentors can go on and look for projects and say, like, oh, hey, like, this project is doing something I'm super passionate about, or I'm an expert in this area, or I want to know more about this, and, like, I think it'd be fun to work on. And they could message the team and say, hey, I want to be your mentor. Or the other way around, a team could, search up, I want somebody who has this specific area of expertise and say, hey, will you be my mentor? So that it's really driven by the participants. Okay.
So, the matching process, or how does that work? What's kind of the time frame? So I know the date to sign up is in July. I think you moved it back to the middle of July. So can you kind of walk through the process for either or both of the programs for someone who's interested in getting involved?
Yeah, so 1,000 Girls, 1,000 Futures, I think July 15th is like a pretty hard cutoff for applications for mentors. But then they don't actually start, and then the process after the initial application, they still have, they have interviews and background checks, and same with the junior academy. So the initial application is due by July 15th. And then they start recruiting their new class of students this fall. So I think the actual pairing relationship starts in November.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's a couple months from now. So the mentors have some time to get trained and learn the platform and that sort of thing. For the junior academy, we're actually never closing. Technically, we're never closing our application. Again, because it's an ongoing community and there's new challenges every 3 months, we will now have an open enrollment always. But we are recommending and asking all interested mentors to apply by July 15th, because if we get applications in by then, we can almost guarantee that they'll get through the entire process in time for the program to start in the fall. With our programming, the challenges where the mentors actually start working with the teams start October 12th. But the students have a 4-week boot camp leading up to that, where there's 3 different topics, one for each of the 3 challenge areas this fall. And the challenges this year, or this fall, are micronutrients, biodiversity, and clean energy and tech. That being said, if that's not any one particular area of expertise, you're really looking for mentors with all STEM backgrounds, because you really never know what kind of approach these students are going to take to these different challenges. They're very creative.
Right.
So we want to get mentors on in time for the boot camp to start September 10th, just so that they can see what it's like. They can attend lectures online as part of the boot camp. If they want, they can participate in some of the activities that the students are doing, read along with the resources that we're assigning them. But it's not required. It's just a fun thing that we want to let our mentors get to be a part of and see. And then the actual, program will start in October, and there'll be a period where students and mentors kind of get to find each other. Okay. And then the very first section of the challenge is focused on team building and team norming, storming, all that stuff, so the mentors and students can kind of get to know each other and get in their groove before, like, the real get down dirty, solve all the world's problems starts happening.
Right. So it's virtual. Is it, I'm assuming there's some frequency with the connection, so is it connects? Are you working with them once a month, once a week? How frequently is the time? What's the time commitment for the mentors?
Yeah, good question. So for 1,000 Girls, 1,000 Teachers, since it's roughly a year-long program, I think it's recommended that students and mentors check in twice a month, whether that's on their online platforms like asynchronous communication or like a Google Hangout type thing. They have a different tool that works like Google Hangout. For the Junior Academy, this is a shorter time period, 70 days. We ask mentors to respond to any student questions within 24 hours. So it roughly works out to be like 3 hours of work a week. It really depends on how active the teams are. Some teams communicate a lot,
right?
And some not as much. We had some student teams that kind of dropped off near the end. It's one of the challenges of the virtual program. But the ideal is that students and mentors are, chatting on the online platform a couple times a week.
Right.
And after the first deliverable, we recommend probably doing a video call once a week, like on the weekends, just like a 30-minute check-in,
right,
or more. Some of our teams did like many video chats a week because that's how they like to work.
Right.
And some of them really preferred like the asynchronous communication on their team-based. Every team has a private team chat space, which is how they communicate throughout the program.
Right.
Which anyone can check out, by the way, not the private team space, but you can see past student projects and our entire platform, actually. It's called Join Launchpad, or it's called Launchpad, but the website is www.joinlaunchpad.com.
Okay.
And we have like an announcement up about the winning teams up there right now, and you can go look at old projects and see the topics and the students, and it's pretty cool.
Okay, wonderful. You probably mentioned this and I missed it. What was the age range? Is it only high school students? I missed that part. What was the age of the students?
It's 13 to 19.
13
so we have a couple of students who I think are in the middle school, junior high range.
Okay.
But it's mostly high school students.
Okay. And then, how long have you been doing this? Do you have some graduates from the program who started and now they're actually working in STEM?
Yeah, that's a great question. This last year was technically the pilot year for both programs. The Junior Academy was a program of the New York Academy of Sciences back in the 1950s. So it's been reimagined and relaunched, and so we just finished our first full year, and same with 1,000 Girls, 1,000 Teachers. So we do have students going off to college this year.
That's great. That's great. That's my vice president in the background. I don't see any other questions, but I know there are questions, so I'll just keep going with my questions. So what's kind of, I guess, the feedback from the ladies or ladies and men, I'm assuming, who've, been mentors? Do you get, I'm sure it's very rewarding, but do you get a lot of feedback, once that cohort ends on how the program worked and what they thought about it?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Okay, go ahead.
So because of the pilot year in particular, we took a lot of surveys, a lot of focus groups, asked for a lot of feedback because we really want to make sure we're providing the best program possible for both our students and our mentors. Our NPS score for mentors is actually Net Promoter Score. I don't know if you guys are at home service familiar with that, but it's just a way to measure user satisfaction. And,
right.
It was better for the mentors even than the students.
Oh,
so
wow.
We're working on increasing both.
Okay.
They're both good. They're both, we had high Net Promoter scores, but the mentors was even better. I think one of the reasons is we actually used Blab as a mentor-only support platform.
Okay.
So Launchpad, where the teams communicate, was pretty public, and we wanted to give the mentors a space to ask each other questions and share best practices and resources and that sort of thing. And that we got a lot of really great feedback about, just because we, awesome, passionate STEM professionals who cared about kids from all over the world had the space to talk and share ideas. And not every mentor had a perfect experience. One of the larger challenges is just that our students are some of the best and brightest in the world. We have a very rigorous application process for students. And we're not looking for just the traditionally, gifted and talented labeled students. We're looking for students who maybe might not have had the resources or the access or the opportunities, but that they have that passion, that drive, and innate curiosity. So within kids are doing a lot and have a lot of interest and are very passionate. And while those are the kids we want, one of the downsides for a program like this is that they're very booked up. So a lot of our students were juggling this along with a lot of extracurriculars. So some of the teams had trouble kind of keeping up. And all the mentors who joined the program are super dedicated, and I think a little bit better at estimating what they can do with their schedule. So a mentor would, sign up for the program and set aside this time to support a team, and then the students would kind of drop off because they had a lot of other things going on too.
Right.
So and not all the students, felt they needed the support of a mentor. I mean, we had a couple of teams that were very, very capable and wanted to forge their own way. So the biggest feedback we got, which is why we're doing something new this year, is really letting the students and the mentors drive the matching process. So rather than me going in and saying, oh, this mentor and this team, they'll be great together, mentors and teams get to decide how they want to interact and who the best match is for them. So not all teams don't have to have a mentor. They can go out there and pick. And if they have the motivation to go out there and pick a mentor, that's a good indication that they're going to be fairly driven throughout the process.
Right.
But likewise, mentors or STEM professionals can choose to be a mentor and mentor team, or they can just be on the platform as an expert. So not everybody has time to do 3 or 4 hours a week in support and team. And some STEM professionals who apply for the program really just want to focus on their area of expertise. Whereas for mentors, someone who's mentoring a team, we want them to be able to support students more generally. It's great if their expertise aligns with the student's project, but really we're looking for mentors who are just passionate about science and STEM in general and can provide that general support about how you do research, how you think about the end user, how we poke holes in things and make sure it's really going to work out, and supporting students if it doesn't work out the way they think it will, and celebrating with them when it does. So those kind of general skills are what we're looking for a mentor, but some folks come on and really just want to be a subject matter expert, and so we created a new role this year where STEM professionals can come on and be what we're just calling experts. And so they're not matched to an individual team, and their job is essentially to answer students and mentors subject matter related questions. And they can also reach out to teams and say, hey, I see what you're doing here, and I might recommend like this resource, or have you considered this? So the expert role is less of a time commitment, and in some ways you can reach more students. More people will probably be reaching out, asking individual questions. But the other side is you don't get that relationship with one team. You don't get to build around that one project idea. So it's nice because there's different choices. And someone can come on as a mentor this fall, and then in the spring realize, oh shoot, like my baby.
Right.
Or I'm starting a new job, and I don't have time to be a mentor, but I still want to be involved.
Right.
And they can be an expert. So everyone goes through the same training, and that way, once you're on the platform, you can kind of go back and forth depending on what your availability is, or your interest in the challenges too. That sometimes can affect whether someone wants to be a mentor or not.
I think that's great to have options because life is unpredictable, and it's great that even if something should change and your time availability change, you can still participate. I've been a mentor before, and I know the key is consistency with the kids or being available. So, whether they make time for you or not, being consistently available to them is really what's important. I never had a mentor as a child, and I can only imagine, the wonderful things I may have, branched out into had I had someone just to say, yes, that's a great idea. That project is really good. Or, have you thought about this? So mentoring is so important. I think both once you're in your career, which is what I focus on with the ladies of BWISE, but also giving back. And I think, honestly, especially people who do not manage others, it's a great opportunity to lead. Right? So if you're in a position, well, everyone is a leader, whether you recognize it or not. But, for people who may not be in supervisory roles, it's a great opportunity to lead, to make an impact on people's lives, young people's lives. And I'll say for our demographic, for Black women in STEM fields, we don't get these opportunities as much. So it's wonderful both to have this chance to impact kids. And one thing you didn't mention, but I gotta believe if you're working in conjunction with the Global STEM Academy, it's also great exposure for you as a mentor. So you didn't mention if there were any opportunities for the mentors to connect, but I would certainly think that that's a good thing. Now, we're not doing things to put on our resumes. We're doing them for the benefit of the children, but I got to believe that would be a wonderful thing to add to your resume, that you're involved in this wonderful organization. And one of the things I also want to share with the group is participation in nonprofits. And a lot of times being on a nonprofit board is a wonderful way to get exposure. A lot of corporate executives are involved in nonprofits, and so how else would you get a chance to be involved or get in front of executive vice president of some of these Fortune 500 companies? So I want to encourage folks, if you don't just see the benefit of working with children and giving them support and guidance, then you can also look at it from your career standpoint and see that this will benefit you as well as the kids. But I think most times the mentors get as much or more from the children, because just the feeling that you're helping is really impactful. So there's a question in there somewhere, at least. But
if I can jump in, you gave me so much great stuff I wanted to mention. You're still on point. So one of the other big pieces of feedback we got was from mentors was we had them list all the skills that they felt like they developed, and leadership, communication were huge on how much they felt like they really got personal skill development by mentoring with these students. And not only do the mentors do get to connect with each other within our class community, and I know there's a lot of not just mentoring connection going on there, but professionals connecting on their own for their own professional reasons, which is great. But also all folks who volunteer as mentors with the Junior Academy or 1,000 Girls as the Teachers do get a free 1-year membership with the New York Academy of Sciences, which if you're in the Northeast New York area, there's a lot of in-person stuff, but even if you're not, again, it's a global organization We have members all over the world.
Right.
And you get access to a ton of resources. We have like a really well-known magazine that goes out with a lot of great research. Most of our events are actually recorded, and there's a lot of webinars. So it's a really great networking tool. I mean, the main goal of the New York Academy of Sciences is to make these connections. I'm a terrible employee. I'm forgetting the number, but they really like to quote like the number of scientific discoveries that have come from connections.
Oh, wow.
Is like a crazy high number. I mean, it's all about, one person bumped into another person, like two seemingly abstract ideas coming
Right.
together all of a sudden to create like a whole new discovery. And that's why with the Junior Academy, this team component I think is so cool. And another thing that a lot of mentors reported was just how inspired they were by working with these students. I think some of them were surprised by it too. Like, a lot of people come in knowing that they like working with students. That's why they volunteer. But just that seeing science and STEM through the eyes of these young, excited students, how that just, reinvigorated their
Right.
love for their work and
Right.
for being curious and seeing things through a new light. I mean, I think a lot of these mentors, we're just so impressed by these different perspectives students are bringing to things, because these students are so young and so new, and I think that's one of the reasons why the projects are so innovative. But
Right.
a lot of mentors reported back in the end of year survey and in our interviews that was like one of the best benefits of the program.
Now, talking about the specifics of the program, so you and I met and we were talking about, the lack of mentors that were people of color. Is that a challenge? And can you speak a little bit about maybe some of your efforts and certainly how BWISE, can get involved both as an organization, but also spreading the word. So, we try to partner with other organizations like SWE, Society of Women Engineers, NSBE, National Society of Black Engineers, and other organizations that are focused on increasing diversity in the STEM fields. But can you speak a little bit about, the numbers, what the members, not the members, what the mentors look like, maybe what the children, is it, I know you're struggling to get the numbers, but, do you have any numbers on where you are and where you're trying to go?
Yeah, I can't give specific numbers right now. Off the top of my head, with the new program, because we just opened the recruitment a couple weeks ago, and I don't have the most accurate numbers off the top of my head, so I'm not going to give you wrong numbers. But
Right.
I will say that our mentor pool this last year, for the Junior Academy at least, was, I would say, significantly more diverse than the average
Okay.
pool of STEM professionals. And I think that's because we are drawing from, people like you and people in general who really care and are passionate about diversity in STEM. So our mentor pool really, I think, reflected that this last year. I will say about maybe 40% of our mentors live abroad, like aren't from the United States or aren't living in the United States. Of the mentors in the United States, maybe 20% this last year were international, like they were living here, but they were born elsewhere and they're here studying or working. And of the rest of the 40% of mentors, it was decent, like so the United States born and living here. It was, again, I would say probably more diverse than the general STEM population in the United States, but
Right.
not nearly as diverse as our actual population of
Right.
the United States citizens.
Right.
And specifically, we didn't have many Black women. We had maybe two.
Two.
And
Okay.
so
We can do better.
and
We
again,
can do better than that,
really-
Elise. We'll get you more than
What's
two.
that?
We can do better than that. We'll get you more
I
than
know.
two.
And our students are really diverse, and it's just so important to have a population of mentors that reflects that. And so yeah, I am really proud of our mentors this last
Well, that's awesome. I had an event last week, immediately following the summit, and that was one of the questions that came up is, can you help us find mentoring opportunities? I mean, there are lots of opportunities. Million mentors, million women mentors. There are a lot of opportunities, and I think what separates one from the other is the flexibility, because you may have the greatest of intentions to participate, but if you get a new job or a life-changing event and the requirements are you have to meet with them in person once a week or once a month, then I think that's probably where the failure rate probably comes in. You have the desire to do it, but the requirements or the criteria of participating don't allow that. So I'm glad to know that it's a virtual program. A lot of what I do is virtual. Example what we're talking about right now, and that allows you to reach more people. And I have actually folks all over the country, and then a few international members. I'm not sure how they found out about BWISE, but I'm glad that they did. So we've got folks all over the country and all levels, from bachelor's to PhD and postdoc, and just about every STEM field you can think of. So I know of the almost 400 members. We're going to have quite a few people interested in participating, and then I want to hear back, how it went. And how we can spread the word, because I think that's important. You mentioned that earlier. It's not just important, because that's what I would have thought originally, for people of color to see mentors, but also for others to see people as mentors too. I think a conversation I had earlier that was saying there's only one or two black women in whatever chemical engineering or electrical engineering, and that is patently not true. But if you don't see them, if you never read any articles about them, the thought is going to be there aren't any. And I can guarantee you that the numbers are not great, but certainly there are hundreds, if not thousands, of black women in these STEM fields who are making great contributions that just aren't recognized. And if you're not connected, then nobody knows who you are. So I think that's another benefit for BWISE working with you all. It's a good way for people who probably would never get the exposure to other folks, especially with it being virtual, to get that opportunity. So one of my other questions, and I see we got about 15 minutes left, so those of you who are on, please send me your questions if we haven't covered what you want to know about. What other things are you doing? Are you planning any other opportunities besides these two programs? Do you ever go outside of New York to host any things? And what are some of your, strategies or plans for 2017? It's a lot of questions, I know.
Yeah, and I'll see if I can get them all. Let me know if I miss one. But before I forget, I did want to say, as you were talking about how important it is to represent, to be represented in these communities. So specifically, I'm going to full disclosure right now, our numbers for the Junior Academy, our applicants are predominantly men.
Wow.
And I think that's because a lot of women are drawn to 1,000 Girls, 1,000 Futures, because a lot of women want to get back to young girls, and that's so important. But I do want to give a really big push to getting more women applicants for the Junior Academy specifically, because again, I think we have 60% of the students in the Junior Academy are girls, which is awesome, by the way.
That's awesome.
Our applicants are like 70% girls and 30% guys, and then we evened it out a little bit more through the application process, but I love the majority of women thing. But we really are looking for, I'm really personally driven to find more women applicants for the Junior Academy. So again, not just for the girls in the program, but also the boys. I think it's so important that young boys are seeing women in these roles. Like you said, just because, it's easy to say, if I don't see it, it's not there. Like, there's only 2 women in science, but really
right.
millions, and we just need to show that. So that's one of my plugs. But so besides these 2 programs, the Global STEM Alliance has a number of in-person programs in New York City. The after-school mentoring program Muslim women, which is a really neat program. And there's not these two programs are the two virtual ones that allow us to reach the larger group of students and mentors. I believe the New York Academy of Sciences does have some satellite events that are outside of New York City. But to be completely honest, I'm not sure what those are.
Right. That's okay.
I'm very much head down in the weeds with the Junior Academy and our virtual programs. If you are in the New York area, I highly recommend checking out the New York Academy of Sciences events because there's some amazing things going on. And if not, you can check out a lot of the virtual stuff that happens in the webinars. This summer, we are hosting a summit for the virtual programs where the Junior Academy and the finalists come together and do their final presentations, and the winners are announced. And actually, each student on the winning team gets $1,000.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty cool for these students. Yeah. Thanks to our sponsors, PepsiCo and ARM.
Now, what's the second entity, PepsiCo, and what was the second entity?
And ARM.
What's that?
ARM Inc. They do a lot of stuff. They hosted the nano with wearables and like nanotechnology challenge we just had, and they're also hosting the next challenge that they're doing is with like microprocessors and biodiversity. Challenge they're hosting this fall. I recommend looking them up. Our mentors are fantastic.
Okay, wow.
They're a good bunch. And so at the summit this summer, it'll be the first time a lot of these students are meeting their mentors in person. So I'm super excited about that. And if anybody listening is interested to come and just like see what's happening at the summit, definitely let me know. There'll be a lot of speakers, presentations by the students. The students will be going on actually some field trips around the city. They'll actually be visiting the PepsiCo headquarters. So that's something I'm really excited about.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, it's just all around great opportunity for folks to get involved with your organization from, maybe a personal benefit of feeling rewarded that you're contributing and impacting a young life. Sounds like it's also an opportunity to get some exposure, maybe have a benefit to your career as well by participating, and I'm just excited. It sounds like a wonderful program. I'm going to sign up, and hopefully we'll get lots and lots of our BWISE members to participate, and at least we'll make sure that, if your need is ongoing, we want to partner with you and make sure that, certainly for Black women representation, you have all that you need, and if there's an opportunity to get the word out in the communities, we also want to do that. Now, how does some of our members who may have children or neighbors or whatever who are interested and live in the New York area, how would you get your child or a child involved in this if you wanted them to be a student?
Yeah, and they don't have to live in the New York area.
Okay.
It's virtual for students too, so our students are all over.
Okay.
Like again, Smitty, her team, she has one of her teammates is from Scotland, the other is Malaysia, Azerbaijan. It's an amazing. I think we have 40 different countries represented.
Wow.
And across the United States too, it's a very diverse group of students. So if anyone does have a student who's aged 13 to 19 who's interested in STEM, that's all they need. The application is currently open. Right now, the messaging is that the application is closing on June 30th. Inside scoop, I have a feeling it's going to be extended to maybe July 15th.
Okay.
But if you're really interested, go on now and start the application, or students should go on now and start the application, because it's free. It's free. You get access to really cool challenges. You're going to meet a bunch of students from all over the world, and you get to have awesome, connections with these other STEM professionals and experts, and it's pretty amazing, the students who are in these programs.
Well, that's great. It sounds like an all-around wonderful organization. I'm so glad that I really came out to take a break because the plenaries were getting kind of long. So I came out and just happened to see, I think, was there another booth right next to yours, Discovery Education? Was there someone?
It was nearby.
It was nearby. But I'm so glad I took the time to come and see what, the exhibitors were doing, because it's great. Like I said, it's important to have a mentor, but it's also important to be a mentor. And so I'm so grateful that, you all were there and we connected and you were so responsive. I think you were probably one of the first people who responded back to me after the summit. And I just sent an email. Hopefully you got it. The first thing this morning, I sent another one that said, "What's next?" Did you get that by chance? Uh-oh, I better check that. We're now looking a week out, from the summit. What's happening? My question was that I posed, what's going on? What's happening? What are our next steps? It's wonderful to get together and convene and talk and share experiences, but action has got to come out of all of those wonderful things. So I've got to circle back and find out why Elise did not get my email this morning at 8 o'clock, because I sent it out to all the wonderful people that I met last week. Elise, I can't even believe it's a week. Does it sound like it's been a week ago? It doesn't. Time just flies by so fast. So, it's great. I'm excited about the possibilities of us partnering and, being an ongoing resource for your organization. Both now that I know students are virtual too, I know we've probably got some ladies who know some students or have children who are interested and would love to participate. Sounds like a wonderful program. So, Elise, what should we do if we've got people, and I certainly could kind of be the point of contact, but what should we do if we're interested in becoming a mentor in order to get our application in by the deadline? I think I posted the link that you sent me. Should they click on that link and that will ensure that they go through the process as BWISE?
Yeah, the link that you posted will tell us, it'll just tell us how many BWISE people visit the site.
Okay.
And then you can always, in the application, say, like, I found out about this from BWISE. Because, we definitely want to know where you guys are coming from. But, just click the link. It is a long application, but it's because we're trying to be very thoughtful about, the adults we're letting into our students' lives. But pretty much if you have a STEM background and you're excited about this, that's what we're looking for.
Right.
And you can start the application and come back to it at any time. Part of the application does include a professional reference, which just gets you just enter your reference's name, it gets sent out to them. That is a holdup for some of our mentors, because all the professional references I'm sure that we all have generally are busy. So
right.
Getting, reminding them and getting them to complete, it's like a very short 3-question professional reference survey that we ask for. But if anybody does have questions, my job is to, help answer those. And if you guys get stuck at any point in the process, you can let me know. But it's really simple to start. I mean, just go to www.thejunioracademy.org/mentors. And there's detailed information there. If you forget anything we talked about here or want a refresher, you can read more specifics about the program, about the mentor role and the expert role. And then it's like your name and email, and that's how you start the application. You can just do it tonight, get that off, and come back to it later. But again, we're really pushing for finished applications by July 15th, because then we can pretty much guarantee you to get through the process in time for September, when the boot camp starts and the students get on the platform. And I'm so happy to be on this call and get to connect with everybody here, because I'm so passionate about what you guys are doing, and I'm really excited by the prospect of having this community join into the Junior Academy and the Global STEM Alliance, because I think it's going to make such a difference.
I think so too, and so I'm grateful for the ability to connect, and you were, like I said, so responsive. So this is what I propose. Everyone within the sound of my voice, certainly go ahead. I'll resend, and you guys who are connected to me on LinkedIn know that I send out information on a regular basis. But I'll make sure that both on the website, BWISE has a website, it's www.bwise.org, BWISE.org, that I'll have it up on the website. Of course, today's video will be posted on the website as well. And then, certainly between now and July 15th, I'll do a mass push to make sure that even people who couldn't attend today's discussion have that information. If you have any other questions, Elise, is it okay if I put your email and phone number out there?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I should probably do this. Yes, please. Email's the probably best way to reach me. Ogden, DOGDEN @NYAS.org. And then, yes, please post it, and don't hesitate to reach out with any questions.
Perfect. So we're going to make a push to get you some good mentors by the 15th. And then I would love, as things go on, because I know that will be that cohort, but as things progress and your first round goes, I want to, have some more ladies join us. So, we'll circle back. And for those of you who have additional questions, we're going to wrap up now. If you have any questions for Elise, certainly send them to her. I'll be posting this, I said, online. You can always send them to me. And then we're going to move forward. We're going to make sure that we always have mentors for Elise's group, probably more than she'll need. And I look forward to many more opportunities for us to work together, Elise. So thank you again for coming on. We had a few problems with the technology in the beginning, but we worked it out. Very, very ingenious.
We make it work.
We make it work. We make it work. So thank you again.
Thank you so much for having me. This is such a great opportunity.
Well, thank you for joining us, and you all, thank you for attending. And as usual, the video will be posted. It's a little different than Blab, so I'll have to go investigate myself what the difference is, how it looks. But thank you again for joining us, and we will see you next week on our next Blab. Thanks, Elise. You guys have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye.